Hi guys, it's RobbiV here. I am doing a video because it's 1 week past and I am disciplined. I am getting things done. Here's the deal, you guys. We all are so valuable in this world. I know that it's challenging and I know at times it doesn't feel like it's going the way we want it to, and our emotions are all over the place, but here we go. Recently I had a question from a gentleman who follows me and talks with me quite frequently, and he asked me what I do to get motivated and to keep motivation when it feels like I just don't want to do anything, or it feels like you just want to give up. There's a few different things. One of the most important things that I would say I do is I revisit my why. Now, I've definitely talked about this in a few videos. Your why is so important. If you don't understand why you're here, it can be a real struggle going forward and trying to continue doing things, especially if maybe you're doing the wrong things and maybe your motivation is designed on something that's completely not relevant to you. So understanding who you are and what your why is a huge factor. Recently, I just got out of a meditation, and it's funny that he asked me this question because as I was in this meditation, I went on kind of a really cool journey, and I was in outer space, and I had a meeting by a really cool guy with a straw hat, and he was a teacher, and then I turned into a hawk, and I was touching stars, and it was really trippy and really cool. If you guys have never tried meditation, you sometimes go through these journeys and it's a very self-discovering time. And after it was all said and done, I had this just overwhelming feeling of understanding and connection. I found myself feeling exceptionally large. And it's weird because I'd look at all the lights and I'm like, oh, it's so tiny. We're like little ants. They're just like working away. These just plugging at life. But we as a whole and inside of us are so huge. And we have so much potential. And we are meant for amazing, amazing things. And just the feeling of being in the universe and like being in open space and touching the stars and feeling like that way in my meditation, it really brought me down on earth again and connected me to where my heart lies and what my mission is. And that is to teach, that is to help people reconnect and find something within themselves that empowers them and makes them feel like they're on the right path. And so knowing your why and knowing what you're good at and what you were meant to do, and maybe what some of your weaknesses are too, that will help you redevelop that motivation. And maybe it means that you also need to take some time out for yourself and do things like meditations in order to realign with the mass amount of universe there is out there and how much potential you currently have. Because we sometimes downsize ourselves because we see all these other people doing crazy things, and you know, maybe it's just because we are so locked in our own space that we're not reaching far enough and we're not seeing far enough. We're not seeing past what's right in front of our face. And if we don't look further into our why and further into the universe and further on earth to the people that are part of it, you know, maybe we'll lose sense of who we are, and maybe that's why our motivation starts to decline, is because we're just so wrapped up in our current circumstance and the environment that we're in. So just connect with your why by taking yourself out of that and meditate or do something that allows you to regroup. Number 2, realizing that if you quit, you won't succeed. The truth is that success comes from never giving up. The only way a person can succeed at anything is by never giving up. And to be honest, your motivation is going to change, just like your emotions change. Motivation, emotion, I don't know, they just kind of go together. So really understanding that if you were to give up, think of all of the amount of times that you've like gotten to that point where you felt like your motivation was low and then you just keep going. That's amazing. And that's what successful people do. They continue and they fight and they become resilient and they force themselves to truthfully go into their uncomfort, and do everything that they can to just get it done. So motivation's going to come and go, but as long as you don't ever give up when you're feeling like you want to give up, that's when success happens. And really appreciating those moments when you are successful, those moments when you actually find it within you to truthfully go for it. And so never give up. And that's where motivation will come. Realizing that that's part of the process to become successful and to accomplishing the things that you want. It's not always going to be easy. And sometimes you're going to get offered some pretty hard times and some trials that you're going to have to fight through. But it's okay. Everything's uncertain in life. Everything is uncertain. So that being said, if you give up, you just won't accomplish your dreams. You just won't accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. But if you continue on, then there's a very good chance that you could accomplish it. That you could have that motivation come back. I want to give you guys 3, so. All right, number 3. Recognize your environment and recognize the goal that you have and create urgency in it and understand your time frames and understand the ambition that you have is going to come and go just as motivation comes and goes. But if you constantly remind yourself of your goals and you constantly remind yourself of these time frames that you've set out for yourself, then you're more likely to push for it and you're more likely to never give up, right? That was a really awkward wink. Never give up. And there's no easy way to go about doing it, but it all does come back to like centering into your being and centering into yourself and knowing yourself and understanding those weaknesses and strengths and looking at your goals in a time frame that is realistic and that you can accomplish, but you just can't give up. So, and maybe sometimes you have to take a break. Maybe that's something that you need to start taking into consideration when you're setting these goals and when you're really trying for these things that you want to accomplish. Because, you know, if you're expecting to get these results and you're setting yourself up for failure by not looking at maybe possibly having these moments of ups and downs in your motivation and planning to take that time and make that time for yourself and actually put yourself in a state where it's like, I'm going to be unmotivated today. Maybe you have to do that. Maybe I'm going to take myself away from this, because if I give myself that, then I'm not going to just have to take it for myself when my motivation goes down. That's what it's saying, is like, I need to take myself away from this for a moment because it's taking over my life and I'm not giving myself enough to re-energize and be able to pursue my why with so much enthusiasm that I had before. And I mean, that doesn't mean that you're not going to accomplish it, but it will mean that you're not going to accomplish it if you give up on it. So anyways, these all kind of collaborate, and I'm kind of rambling on a little bit, but I wanted to answer that question for my friend because I really had to think about it, to be honest. You know, I do struggle with my motivation a lot, and I'm constantly changing, and we are all constantly changing, not just myself, of course. We're human beings. We go through these stages in life, and sometimes we're really on the ball and other times we're not. But I think that if we keep on it, it'll happen. So that's that for you. If you guys have any other questions or whatever, just send them my way and I'll do videos for them. But was my answers to what keeps me motivated. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day or evening. And if you haven't already, please follow me, hit the little bell so that you can get notifications when my next video comes out. And leave a comment. I love comments, by the way. They are my absolute favorite things. If you also feel like this is valuable for somebody, maybe there's somebody in your life that is struggling to find motivation and they don't quite understand the connection that they have to accomplishing it and to like finding the desire inside themselves, and they're kind of confused what the next step is. Share this with them. See if maybe they agree. Maybe you guys don't agree with me, and that's totally fine too, because everybody finds motivation in different things and everybody takes the steps that they require to get that motivation. So, you know, maybe just leave that down below. Also, if you guys don't know what to comment, like, this is the perfect thing to comment on, is what is it that you do to keep motivated? What is it that you feel are important steps to take to regain that motivation, to go forward in life and to accomplish the things that you want? I love you guys so much. Thanks very, very much for listening, and talk soon. Toodles.